Cases of chikungunya were first reported in Mombasa County in December 2017. At the beginning of 2018, the number had rose up to over 30. Already, the county government of Mombasa has put in measures in curbing the spread of Aedes aegypti mosquito that spreads the chikungunya virus by purchasing fogging machines at a cost of 15 million shillings. In this episode of Behind the Headlines, we'll delve deep into the issue, looking at the effects of chikungunya and the effectiveness of the measures put in place by the county government. Already, there is an impending danger of waste disposal and waste management in Mombasa, which in the long run acts as a breeding ground for the mosquitoes.
Now, 13 members shy.
It took the county government of Mombasa over 3 weeks to act on the spread of chikungunya. Chikungunya is a viral disease transmitted to humans by infected mosquitoes. It causes fever and severe joint pain, which is often debilitating. Other symptoms include muscle pain, headache, nausea, fatigue, and rashes. The disease shares some clinical signs with dengue fever and Zika and can be misdiagnosed in areas where they are common. As there is no cure, treatment is focused on relieving the symptoms. Its outbreak mid-December 2017 went in murmurs, with the majority of the residents making fun due to its name that sounded as a tongue twister. However, as the days turned into weeks and the patients began trickling into health facilities for treatment, Mombasa residents came to the full realization of a rare disease.
This is a sequencing facility in the lab. So we prepare our reagents here. This is Agilent bioanalyzer for gel electrophoresis.
Our quest to seek the never-ending queries over chikungunya led us to Kemri Wellcome Trust in Kilifi. Doris Kemunto is a research scientist in alpha viruses within the coastal region, and together with her team has been working on a vaccine for the chikungunya virus.
The difference between malaria and chikungunya is that the chikungunya has a sudden onset, and the joint pains are really debilitating. They are strong, so it incapacitates even the walking. Someone has to break out of his normal activities, and this will impact the economic and social life of someone, even the community. Malaria and chikungunya only share one thing: they're transmitted by mosquitoes. And it's not the same mosquito that transmits them, only that we tend to generalize the mosquitoes. Yeah, and the common thing is that both infections are characterized by fever. So when you have malaria and when you have chikungunya, you have a high temperature, a high body temperature. So that is again another problem we have. You go to hospitals, you have a higher temperature, the doctor will tend to diagnose you for malaria because it's more prevalent in our setup. So we tend to ignore chikungunya, while it is a basis for most of the febrile illnesses in our setup.
After clinicians observed an increasing number of cases of an undiagnosed febrile illness presenting with very high fever, joint pains, and general body weakness, and testing negative for malaria, blood samples had to be sent to the Kenya Medical Research Institute Arboviral Laboratory in Nairobi. Dozens of specimens tested positive for chikungunya on polymerase chain reaction. According to a report from the Ministry of Health, as of January 31st, 453 cases were reported, out of which 32 were confirmed positive, and increased by 13 more cases as of January the 8th.
Majorly, the virus is transmitted by mosquito bites from humans to humans, vector, that is the mosquito, and then human. But rarely, the virus can be transmitted from mother to neonates. That means a mother can transmit to the child mostly around the time of birth. But transmission during breastfeeding has not been reported yet. So mothers can breastfeed their kids. However, again, theoretically, you could think of if you are transfused blood, which is infected, the recipient should get the virus, but that has not yet been reported yet. It's just theoretical.
Statistics from the World Health Organization indicate that the disease was first reported in Kenya in 2004 in Lamu County, where it spread into Mombasa and then fizzled out, with reports of the disease in Asian countries months later. Mombasa is the second largest city in the country with an estimated population of 1.2 million. The sudden influx of population into this city has brought about poor or lack of drainage systems and a sudden emergence of dump sites within the town. Mombasa County is also a popular tourist destination and a sub-regional transportation hub with connections to Rwanda, Uganda, Tanzania, Zanzibar, and Ethiopia. This is the first time that active circulation of chikungunya has been laboratory confirmed in Mombasa. Further sequencing of the circulating virus is therefore needed to better assess the current epidemiological situation.
Chikungunya, generally arboviruses, which are arthropod-borne viruses, which are spread by mosquitoes, ticks, and sandflies. Now, if I concentrate on those spread by mosquitoes, they are prevalent in the whole of the country. Actually, they are a problem globally. The problem is they are re-emerging. They had an activity sometime, we forget about them, then suddenly they re-emerge. So for chikungunya, it is good to have a complete understanding of how the epidemic pattern and epidemic and transmission pattern is going on in the country. It's good to know who is affected, what factors are promoting the reoccurrence, and it's good to have a reliable diagnostic technique, or if possible, implement a consistent way of surveilling for it, the way we've done HIV. You are pregnant, you have to do a test so that they know how to take care of your baby. So the same thing should happen to chikungunya or any other febrile illness. You go, we have a reliable diagnostic technique where we can differentiate the cause of febrile illnesses. So in our study, generally right now, we are focusing on trying to estimate the burden of disease in order to inform various monitoring and surveillance measures.
The scale of the chikungunya outbreak has been underestimated given the underreporting of cases and low levels of health-seeking behaviors among the affected population. The large mosquito breeding sites in infected areas and inadequate vector control mechanisms also represent major propagating factors.
The mosquito that spreads chikungunya is grouped under the group of Aedes aegypti, and that is the one that has been shown to spread the virus in Africa. It bites during the day, mostly, however, sometimes at night, but mostly during the day, and it breeds in waters, even a small pool of water in a cup of a bottle. So when we leave open tanks, open bottles, cut bottles, and it rains, they'll always breed in that, yeah.
The mounds of trash all over the city of Mombasa and its environs offers ample breeding ground for the Aedes aegypti mosquitoes. When Governor Ali Joho was first elected as governor of Mombasa, a Mombasa businessman was given the tender to collect garbage within the city, ferrying them to Kibarani and Mwakirunge dumping sites. He availed 70 trucks stationed all over Mombasa's garbage collection centers. However, early in 2017, he pulled out, citing breach of contract by the county government of Mombasa, with claims of non-payment of over 100 million shillings, a claim that led to him withdraw his trucks. Environmentalists like Benson Wemali say the county has failed in providing basic services to its residents.
We have tried our level best, and especially last year, when this disease by the name Chikungunya came up. This is something that we had already said before. We had said that there are a lot of trucks in the town which are emanating, which have been placed there because of collection of the garbage, will bring diseases, but people could not realize. Now, when the Chikungunya came, which is now still there, it is still affecting the people of Mombasa, which is still there. So far, the rate is still growing every now and then. We try to tell them, why can't they do what we call awareness in the estates, in the areas where Wananchi of Mombasa stays? Why can't they educate them? Let them know. Let them be given the knowledge. Can they affirm the knowledge to them? And then, can they give a solution of where this garbage will be placed? Now that we have removed the trucks which were in the towns, which were in the centers of their collection point, which were being placed at their collection point. So, okay, the only thing they did is to remove the trucks, and that's final. So far, they have not done what is supposed to be done. They have slept on their job. In fact, right now, if you go, the Mkokoteni people, they are littering the town every now and then. You know, goodwill plays a key role. Now, what is lacking in this county is lack of goodwill. And those people who are in the offices to serve the Mombasa resident, they take it for granted that after all, we are in the office. Mombasa is populated. One thing you must put in mind. Mombasa is having activities. Another thing. People there in the offices. This county government has the potential to clean Mombasa. What they are doing is ignorant. They are not serious with their work. In fact, they are not even concerned. Some of them, you meet some of these officers, they are not even concerned. They will only tell you when the crisis comes is when they rush there. They're not even concerned. So what is happening is that it's lack of goodwill. That when they have been elected and they have gone to the county assembly, enacting some serious laws to control garbage is not one of their issues. It only comes to be a by the way or an A or B. It's not that it's one of the priorities, but in some other nations in this world, my friend, cleanliness, garbage collection, environmental issues is #1 agenda.
But because of the magnitude, and we have quantified, we know the figures that are required to efficiently and effectively collect garbage in Mombasa, we may need to engage you to pay off something small so that we can create efficiency and management of takataka from your household. So we may talk to you, tulipe kitu kidogo, mnilipe kitu kidogo, so that we fund fully the huduma ya garbage collection.
Wanafanya kazi ya waste collection. Sasa kulingana na vile Mombasa County walitoa ile order kwa watu takataka kibarani, kuna wengine wako responsible. Unaona? Wale wa kibarani watupa kwa streets, kwa vichaka, inasababisha paka mji na kwa mchafu zaidi.
Hofu yangu ni hizo takataka venye zimekaa nyingi barabarani, hata kwa nyuma za manyumba pia zinatupa, sio hapa peke yake, hata mkitembea zaidi huku vichoroni mtaziona tu. Kwa hivyo hii inastahili kwamba manispaa ya Mombasa ijaribu kufanya usafi kila mahali. Ile order yenye walitoa kwamba kila mtu anajitupia kibarani, hiyo imesababisha mambo haya. Nadhani wakati ule kulikuwa na magari kwa kizunguzungu, kulikuwa na afadhali, japokuwa ilikuwa sio usafi wa hivyo, lakini kulikuwa na afadhali.
Based on reports from peripheral health facilities, the outbreak has spread to the 6 counties of Changamwe, Jomvu, Kisauni, Likoni, Mvita and Nyali in Mombasa, with Mvita and Likoni as the worst hit. Early this January, Mombasa Governor Ali Hassan Joho launched fogging machines at a cost of 15 million shillings.
Tuko hapa kuanzisha rasmi program ya county ya vector control ama kupigana na mbu na maeneo ambayo yanakuza mbu katika county ya Mombasa. You will realize leo we're flagged off 5 vehicles, or basically 5 new equipment that will be used for vector control in the county. This really is as a result of the current situation that we have to deal with chikungunya within the county of Mombasa. Ordinarily, we would have had 1 vehicle as routine vector control is undertaken, but situation demands that we do more than ordinary operations.